This is the PCSRA Radio Network and the Blue Hedgehog TV. We now interrupt your regular scheduled programming for the following sports special. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues, Incorporated, for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast, retransmission, or other dissemination or the use of this broadcast, descriptions, or accounts of this show without the express written consent of the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues, Incorporated, is prohibited. On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to the PCSRA Paddock Pass Show. We're glad that you're here to start a new journey of the PCSRA as the chase for the 2021 championships begin. Welcome to the PCSRA Paddock Pass on the PCSRA Radio Network as we get ready to bring you all the racing for the 2021 season. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic Drive-Ins, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where we encourage all of you fans that together we can end DUI. Now, for the greatest show on earth from today's episode of the PCSRA Paddock Pass from Yukon, Oklahoma, here's the voice of the PCSRA, Daniel Voiles.
The motorsports world lost a true friend this past week with the passing of Robin Miller. Robin Miller was one of the greatest iconic persons in the world and one of the greatest announcers ever. He sadly passed away at the age of 71 this past week. At this time, before we go to our national anthem, please join me in a moment of silence to remember Robin Miller as we send our deepest condolences to his friends and family at this time. Thank you. Now, the national anthem. And that is the national anthem of the country of Sealand, even though there is no such thing as Sealand unless you go off the coast of England to this little tower that's like Fort something in the river, even though like they're saying like Sealand's a country, but it's not. But anyway, welcome to Triple P on this Monday night. I'm the Blue Hedgehog himself, Dean Duvalls. We're glad to have you all with us. And hopefully you guys are excited to see what's going to happen here this evening. Let's go ahead. Oh, somebody's fixing the blinds in just a second. So anyway, hi to one person that is watching the stream on this Monday evening. So. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. anyway. So, alright. Let's get right into the business. Hi, Great Lakes. How are you? So, want to go ahead and throw a little disclaimer before we get started. I'm not going to discuss about the F1 race because of the fact that they did not run the full race. They only ran like 2, 3 or so laps behind the safety car before they called it, which was a waste of my time. So I've decided to not recap it. I'll probably do the results for that race just because it's required by me. Okay. With that taken care of, and that being said, let's just go ahead and get right into the business in hand. The top 10 results for Race 1 in Formula 3. Is that the results, or is that... Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. Nice motivational tutor, and you just did that on my stream. But anyway. The top 10 results for race number 1. Lorenzo Colombo finally gets his first win for Campos. Jack Crawford second. Roman Stanek third. Frederick Vesti fourth. Victor Martins fifth. Jonathan Hoggart sixth. Clement Novalak seventh. Eighth was Logan Sargent. K.O. Collette ninth. And Alexander Similar completed the top 10. The top 10 results in race number 2. Jack Doohan, the winner. David Schumacher, second. Logan Sargent, third. Kalo Kalat, fourth. Clement Novalak, fifth. Frederick Vesti, sixth. Seventh was Victor Martins. Alexander Similar, eighth. Dennis Hogger, ninth. And Arthur Leclerc completed the top 10. The top 10 results in race number 3. Jack Doohan, the winner. Victor Martins, second. Alexander Similar, third. K.O. Kalat, fourth. Clement Novalak, fifth. Frederick Vesti, sixth. Logan Sargent, seventh. Dennis Hogger, eighth. David Schumacher, ninth. And Arthur Leclerc completed the top 10. The top 10 results for the W Series. Emma Kamalainen, first career win. Congratulations to her. Points leader and defending series champion Jamie Chadwick, second. Marta Garcia, third. Alice Powell, fourth. Caitlin Wood, fifth. Jessica Hawkins, 6th. Fabian Wohlwein, 7th. Narita Marti, 8th. Mika Koyama, 9th. Abby Eaton completed the top 10. Had some drivers that did not take the start because of that big accident, which thankfully I'm happy to tell you guys all the drivers were okay. The top 10 results for the F1 race were as follows. Max Verstappen, the winner. George Russell, second. Lewis Hamilton, third. Daniel Ricciardo, fourth. Sebastian Vettel, fifth. Pierre Gasly, sixth. Seventh, Esteban Ocon. Charles Leclerc, eighth. Nicholas Latifi, ninth. And Carlos Sainz completes the top 10. Then we go to the Xfinity Series race at Daytona, which was 2 days that they ran. They had a competition yellow, which was their first yellow, and then they had to resume the race on Saturday after it had to be suspended due to inclement weather, which that's why they suspended that race to the next day. Brandon Jones went out of the race under the red flag as he had a engine failure on his car, so his day was done, and then, like I said, they resumed the race on Saturday after it had to be suspended due to inclement weather. That was the pool table, not me. So anyway, the first actual incident when they did resume the race, Austin Cindric got turned in the wall and collected the 8 of Sam Mayer, the 1 of Michael Annette, the 2 of Myatt Snyder, and the 18 of Daniel Hemrick. Cindric was the only one that dropped out. The rest continued on, which also ended stage 1. That was won by Justin Haley. Then debris off turn number 2 brought out a yellow, and then another debris caution on the front straightaway. The rest of stage 2 was clean. That was won by Jeb Burton. Then Joe Graff Jr. got into the 26 of Colin Garrett, collected the 15 of Colby Howard. Garrett would have to drop out of the race as far as that's concerned. The other 2 continued on. Then Cesar Baccarelia got turned by Jordan Anderson. That collected Matt Mills, the 48 of Jade Buford. and also Matt Mills. Baccarilla, Graff Jr. also dropped out, as well as, but those were the drivers that dropped out of the race. And the rest of the race was clean and calm, and at the end of the day, Justin Haley picks up another win to ensure all three of the Kaulig racing cars made the playoffs. So the top 10 results for the Xfinity Series race from the 2 days that they ran their Wawa 250, which is a weird-ass name if you know what I mean. Justin Haley won. A.J. Allmendinger second, gave it a Kaulig Racing 1-2. Justin Allgaier third, Jeff Burton fourth, to make sure all three Kaulig cars finished in the top 5. Good job to them. Daniel Hemrick fifth, Christopher Bell sixth, Noah Gragson seventh, Myatt Snyder eighth, Harrison Burton ninth, and Riley Herbst completed the top 10. Then we go to the Cup Series race for the Coke Zero Sugar 400, which I got to watch the entire race. Whoop, whoop. And I'm glad nobody... asked me what the hell I was doing, so... we had a competition yellow, as always. The 38 of Anthony Alfredo had to do a drive-through penalty for a tech issue, if you know what I mean, which his crew chief and also Michael McDowell's crew chief were ejected because of the deck lid not on properly, according to NASCAR officials. Rest of stage 1, that was calm and clean. That was won by Chase Elliott. Then we had our first wreck of the day. A stack-up that happened got Eric Almirola and Alex Bowman to spin off turn number 4. Ryan Prix got hit by Denny Hamlin. Anthony Alfredo, I believe, got a piece of it, but they continued on. Rest of stage 2 was clean and calm. That was won by Joey Logano. And then the Rick Ware Racing duo took each other out. Cody Ware, Garrett Smithley lost control, collected Cody Ware and the 15 of... Do not help me, I can find it. Joey Gase. All three of their cars had some significant damage. I believe all three of them did continue. Yeah, all three did continue on. And then we had the dreaded, first of many big ones. Martin Truex Jr. got hooked by Ricky Reckhouse, and he collected the 96 of Landon Casso, who was making his first start of the season, the 14 of Chase Briscoe, the 8 of Tyler Reddick, the 24 of William Byron, the 99 of Daniel Suarez, the 38 of Anthony Alfredo, and the 2 of Brad Keselowski. So a bad day gone worse for Alfredo, if you know what I mean. Then the second big one was a battle for the lead that went wrong when Chase Elliott went to block Matt DiBenedetto, took both cars in the wall. They collected Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Preece, Ross Chastain, Cole Custer, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Kaz Gralla, who T-boned Kyle Busch so hard. And then the final big one was contact between Daniel Suarez and Kevin Harvick. They collected Austin Dillon, Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Corey LaJoie, Alex Bowman, and Eric Jones. And at the end, which ended the race, and Ryan Blaney somehow, someway snuck his way and got the victory. However, after the race, the 17 of Chris Buescher failed post-race inspection for an illegal suspension part that was found on his car, and he was disqualified as a result. And as a consequence for Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick got the final transfer spot. So the top 10 results for the Cup Series: Ryan Blaney, the winner, Bubba Wallace second, Ryan Newman third, Ryan Preece fourth, Tyler Reddick fifth, Justin Haley sixth, Alex Bowman seventh, Chase Elliott eighth. Nice top 10 run for BJ McLeod in ninth, and rounding out the top 10 was Josh Bilicki. Damn it! You guys made me do a tongue twister there. Yeah, I'm talking to the viewers, so don't be fucking rude about it, Daryl. Jesus Christ. Anything that's said on this stream is classified as spur of the moment, just so you know. Anyway, that means the 16 drivers that have locked themselves a spot into the playoffs, if I can get to the points before somebody opens their damn mouth and I just do this whack at them. I'm not going to do it to Steven, but I know who else I'm going to do it to. So the 16 drivers that are in the playoffs are Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick, and Tyler Reddick. Those are your 16 drivers that made it into the playoffs. It was a good race, I have to say. I mean, Daytona was fun. I mean, you know, I was talking to Sean. We were talking about this package. I was impressed about the package. I mean, the cars were like running like under 190 miles an hour, which made it some safe racing. Somebody scratched. Yeah, Steven, by the way, is playing pool as I'm doing Triple P. But anyway, the package was really good because we didn't know what to expect with this rules package. Again, this was the changes because of what happened to Joey Logano at Talladega when he got turned and the car never set back down, and he did some barrel rolls at Talladega. So the package was really good. I have to say, I was kind of very impressed. I'm glad nobody flipped. That's good to see. Glad that all the drivers that were involved were okay. A lot of cars torn up, but a couple of happy people I just want to say, you know, the 78, first time the 78 got a top 10, that is not Furniture Row Racing. So BJ McLeod, I'm very impressed with him, how he did. He is my driver of the day, so very impressive to see the little guys who just started up, like the 78 of BJ McLeod's team. Josh Bilicki getting a top 10 in the Cup Series. Good job to him. He did a really good job, and I was very impressed to see some of the names we don't normally see, like, you know, one Rick Ware racing car in the 78 being in the top 10. So I have to say the package was really good, and if I had to give that rating on the package, it would be an 8.5 out of 10. So the package was good, you know, made some interesting racing. I'm kind of curious how it's going to do at Talladega when we go there in October, especially when we are going to a playoff race, if you know what I mean. So the package was good. I'm satisfied about that. However, the F1 race was a 7 because I have never seen the FIA do so terrible at just wasting the fans' time and money because of the fact they did all that. So F1 gets a 7. Formula 3 gets an 8. W Series gets a 9, but happy that all the drivers that were involved in that big accident in qualifying going up towards Eau Rouge, Raidillon, glad all of them are okay. So we avoided having another Antoine Hubert fatal wreck. So good that all the drivers involved were okay. So again, Belgium will get a 7.5 overall. Daytona, I'm going to give the Xfinity race a 9.5. Cup, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. But like I said, the package was really good for the Cup Series. So definitely that's something we'll be happy about. Okay, so let's get right to the top story news. There's been some news that has happened in a while. Let's go to the NASCAR is still waiting to announce penalties for Michael McDowell and Anthony Alfredo for the deck leg extension that failed pre-race inspection, which got, like I said, crew chiefs ejected on the 34 and 38 team respectively. They still have not announced what kind of penalties we were, but I know Michael McDowell's going to be in a is going to be behind the 8 ball, if you ask me. Congratulations to Alon Day on winning the NASCAR Euro Series race round number 5 over the weekend. Congratulations to him. The 17 crew chief for the Xfinity Series fined $5,000 for one lug nut that was not properly tight. It was loose, so it is a $5,000 fine. Other than the 17 failed inspection, no penalties for the Cup Series, other than the 34 and 38, which we're still waiting on, if you know what I mean. Next topic, staying on the NASCAR news. Martin's Motorsports has partnered with Cesar Beccaria to form a new Xfinity Series team for next season called Alpha Prime Racing. Tommy Joe Martin Beccaria has signed Roger Carruth, who will be running full-time in ARCA next season, to a limited schedule, as Roger Carruth, former Nork driver, is going to be driving for Rev Racing in the ARCA Menard Series next season, so that's very good to see. Matt DiBenedetto is going to run the Wood Brothers throwback from 2001-2002 of Elliott Sadler with Motorcraft quality parts, so good to see the famous colors from 2001-2002 on there, so that's really good. Before the weekend, one of the W Series drivers, if I can find, I'll need to go back. Let's see. Here it is. Irina Shodakov tested positive for COVID, had to miss the race at Spa, and Gosta Rades had to take over the driving duties. Ala Adrin did not start the race, neither did Betsky Visser, which both of them couldn't get their cars repaired after a dramatic accident, which fortunately all the drivers involved were okay, but their cars were a different story, if you ask me. Jimmy Johnson did some testing for the IndyCar at Texas. Got some good reviews on that, so that's good news to tell you the truth. Let me see. Let me go to my any other stuff that we had. We'll talk about this on the IMSA podcast the next time we have one. Chip Ganassi Racing will partner with Cadillac and Action Express to develop an LMDH car that will begin racing in 2023 with the objective of participating in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is probably next season. That's something we're definitely looking forward to. Let's see here. Oh, from NASCAR, 2311 Racing announced this past weekend before Daytona, Kurt Busch will be moving over to be teammates with Bubba Wallace in the Cup Series next season. His sponsor, Monster Energy, will be following suit, as he will be driving the number 45. If I remember correctly, the 45 has not raced in the Cup Series since... Why don't he go marry one? That would make my life a little better, referring to Daryl. Somebody can... Let me look up. Last time the number 45 raced in Cup. Let me look that up. Last time number 45 raced in Cup. Let me see here. Last time the 45 raced in the Cup Series was 2008. So, be the first time in, let me think, 13, soon to be 14 years, the 45 returns to the Cup Series, but this time will be under 2311 Racing. Even if Kurt Busch doesn't get a charter for next season, he would get in because he is the most recent champion of the series, or actually, no, they got rid of that rule. I didn't know they got rid of the champions rule until the charter system went into effect. So if Kurt Busch doesn't get a charter, he's definitely going to have to qualify on time for the Daytona 500 unless they get a charter from somebody. Who that will be is yet to be determined. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Let me see. I think there's some other... Let me look at the IndyCar chat. Of course, I talked about WT Raceway Gateway finalized a 3-year extension with IndyCar to remain at Gateway. Bonito Auto is also expected to renew a deal. Sources saying Roman Grosjean will be replacing Ryan Hunter-Reay at Andretti Autosport in the IndyCar Series next season, so we'll see how that will go. And should be interesting. We'll see what happens. Ty Gibbs won Sunday's ARCA Menard Series race at the Milwaukee Miles, so congratulations to him. Just before Milwaukee, there were penalties that were handed out in the aftermath of that race. Now, I don't know about you all, and I didn't know this rule was a thing. Let me look at my photos. I have the penalty report, and this was after Michigan, before this weekend's race. So here's what it says. Based on non-compliant activities during and after the ARCA Menard Series race at Michigan International Speedway on August 20th, ARCA crew member Kevin Reed Sr. has been fined $500 and placed on probation for the remainder of the 2021 season for violating the 2021 ARCA Rulebook Section 12-8.1, which refers ARCA member conduct guidelines. Based on the violations for that same reason, including public statements and or communications that criticize, ridiculous, and otherwise displays another person based upon that person's stuff, which I'm not even going to tell you about that. ARCA crew member Kevin Reed Jr. has been fined $1,500 and suspended for an indefinite period of time, which we don't know what that means, but that means he will be out for the season. But this one made me a question mark, because I saw on Twitter that somebody put like four general tire wheels inside the hauler, which I heard that is a violation. That was what happened at Michigan. Friday driver Drew Dollar fined $1,000 for violating that deal. So I didn't know that was a rule, to be quite honest with you. So let me know what you all think about that, because that's really an interesting rule, if you ask me. Tim Richmond is done for the season. He broke his ankle, had 6 stitches in his little finger on his right hand in the care center, and also had a fractured vertebrae and all that, so he is done for the season. So, yeah. So, we'll see what happens here. We do wish Tim Richmond the best of luck in his recovery. So, see what happens. All right, let's get into, as I pull up my agenda, let's talk about the subject I was talking about when I was mentioning before, recapping. Why did it take F1 this long to call the race after only running a couple laps behind the safety car? Well, let's see. Standing water, because it was raining most of the weekend. Qualifying was treacherous, where Lando Norris, as he was going through Rouge Radion, lost control of the car, slammed the tire wall, did some pretty significant damage to the car, which broke the gearbox, which they had to change the gearbox, which he got a 5 grid spot penalty, and all that. It was kind of getting too dangerous because visibility was really getting bad. I feel like, they made the right call in postponing the race, or not postpone the race, call the race, excuse me. I don't know why I came up with the word postpone, but anyway, they postponed the race because the teams had to get to the Dutch Grand Prix, which we'll talk about that in our look ahead segment. It was not going to resume, so they called the race. The race was not going to restart, and half points were awarded. I really wished they could have ran the race or give the drivers a chance to race, but it is what it is. So, you can't fault the FIA for doing that. So, yeah. All right, it is time for one of my favorite segments here on Triple P. Ladies and gentlemen, This Day in History. Today is the 30th of August. Can you believe we're already on the 30th of August so far? All right, so let's go over this day in history. On this day in 1906, Hal Chase became the first New York Yankee to hit 3 triples in a game. On this day in 1912, St. Louis Brown Earl Hamilton no-hits the Detroit Tigers 5-1. On this day in 1913, Phillies lead 8-6 in the top of the ninth. Fans in bleachers try to distract Giants. Umpire forfeits game to Giants, later overruled. Interesting. On this day in 1937, Joe Louis beat Tommy Fair in 15 for a heavyweight boxing title, which is pretty good. On this day in 1939, the 6th NFL Chicago All-Star Game, New York Giants shut out the All-Stars 9-0 in front of 81,456 fans. That same day, on 1944, Chicago Bears won at 24-21 over the All-Stars in front of 48,769 at Soldier Field. That next year, Green Bay won it 19-7 in front of 92,753 fans. On this day in 1954, the BC Lions played franchise first CFL game in Vancouver, getting shut out by the Saskatchewan Roughriders 17-0. On this day in 1960, U.S. women 4x100 melee relay swims world record, 4 minute 41 seconds to beat Australia and win the gold medal at the Rome Olympics. Let's see. There's a lot of Olympics that happened on this day. On this day in 1979, cricket Ian Bothman passes 1,000 runs and 100 wickets in tests in his 21st match for England. Cricket is still active today, which is surprising. On this day in 1984, Red Sox Jim Rice ground into record 33 double play en route to 36. Billy Mayfair won the U.S. Golf Amateur Championship on this day in 1987. Kirby Puckett goes 6 for 6 with 2 home runs in Minnesota Twins' 10-6 wins over the Milwaukee Brewers on this day in 1987. Houston Comets beat the New York Liberty to win their only NBA championship, the WNBA championship, on this day in 1997. Greg Maddock won his 330th career game on this day in 2006. 2012, Andy Roderick announced he will retire following the U.S. Open on this day in 2012. Happy birthday times! Happy birthday to Billy Johnson. I don't think Billy Johnson is alive. Obviously, I don't know if he is alive or not. I doubt he is. So, yeah. Happy birthday to Cliff Lee, Will Davidson, Australian racing driver. Happy birthday to Will Davidson, which they're still off. Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union, happy anniversary to them. It's time to go over the NR report, as we had some good racing happen at Texas Motor Speedway. Wyatt Beanstalk got his second career win in the in the Andes Frozen Custard 250 in Division 1. It's pretty good to see Wyatt back on top, after the suspension indefinitely following the 2015 season. He comes back and gets 2 wins. He's still outside the top 50 in the points, so he's still got some ground to catch up. And we'll have to wait and see how that goes for him. Division 2 and Division 3. Division 2 will take place on Wednesday in the VC with Nathan Orman, Zachary Taylor, Cody Smart, and myself, and probably Sean Art. And Division 3 will take part this Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so hopefully you'll join us. Brenda Evelyn won Saturday night's Battle of the Sexes at Richmond International Raceway, leading all 60 laps en route to the victory. And their prize was a trip with their compadres to Dubai. How about that? So congratulations to them. And if that wasn't enough, they ended up winning 100,000 American dollars for their compadres respectively. So congratulations to them on the victory. The next special event will take part on October 5th. That will be the Laura McCoy Memorial, which will be featuring the Diva Series drivers, and then we'll have the Oktoberfest on the last weekend of October at Talladega, which will feature the Reese's Pro Series Drivers 2022 roster. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that, and it will be fun. Amber McMillan will be filling in for Patrick Watson for the remainder of the Texas weekend. Patrick Watson, due to his daughter Sandy Watson, who had that violent wreck at 8 Bowl, going to be doing rehab, so he wants to be away. So Amber McMillan will be filling in for all that, and on our sister station we'll have the Inside the Diva series, as they'll have more discussion on the Texas weekend respectively. So looking forward to that, as somebody is tired and needs to go to bed. Let me see. Don't think we have anything else, so let's preview our race weekend. We have Austria for DTM. We have the Netherlands. The Dutch Grand Prix returns for the first time in quite some time. Last year's race was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so we're glad to see them back on the calendar. We don't know how the Dutch Grand Prix is going to be, since it is the first race in a long time. But the weather looks a lot better for the Dutch Grand Prix. Darlington is this weekend. It's also the Southern 500. It's the playoff opener for the Cup Series. It's race 2 of the first round for the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, still in the regular season. So Darlington, if what we saw in the springtime was any indication, we should see a very good race. The one thing I do want to say is that I really don't know how they're going to do with turn number 2, because of the fact that turn 2 just recently got repaved and remodeled a little bit. So we don't know if we're going to see a lot of incidents there or not, but we'll just have to wait and see. But it should be a good old grand old Darlington race. And the good thing is, for the Cup Series drivers, if any of those 16 drivers that made the playoffs I mentioned after the Daytona recap go to victory lane, that is an automatic lock-in spot to the round of 12. The remaining 9 drivers in the Truck Series, if they go to victory lane, they're off to the round of 8, which is good. For those in the Xfinity Series, if they win Darlington, they would be into the playoffs. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go to predictions. Now, before we get into predictions, because of the fact that none of us picked John Hunter Nemechek following Watkins Glen, which he already locked up the regular season title, he ended up winning the standings. So there you go. So let's go ahead and get to predictions. Driver to win, driver to stay away from, driver you pick as the dark horse. Since Ormy forgot to update the point standings, I should go ahead and do that right now, before we forget. So, let's see. Cody has 214. Taylor has 162. Whoops. Ormy has 154. I got 10 points, so I'm at 140. Great Lakes has 9, so that's 58. By the way, I'm giving you the points total after Daytona. As far as the NASCAR point standings, Kyle Langland, 53. So Teal has made up a lot of ground on Great Lakes in that remark. Allie has 49 points, so Allie is starting to slowly chip away, if you know what I mean. Q-Man has... Brendan got 36. 37 for Q-Man, so Q-Man has overtaken Brendan Rogers in the NASCAR standings, as my phone does not want to stop derping like a derping hyena. So Q-Man has 37, Brendan Rogers 36, Cody Goforth has 27. So that's the NASCAR standings leaving Daytona because someone forgot to update the standings. So there you go, after Daytona. Alright, now the global standings, since I need to update the global standings. Where's global? There you are. Global standings were... I did not tally the global. I should check Orman's DM. So, leaving... after I take care of global real quickly. Global standings after Belgium. Cody Smart had 2, 4, 5, 6. He is at 339. I'm at 319 because I end up getting 6. Taylor got... if I look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Taylor's at 284. Nathan Orman got 1, 2, 3, 4. So Orman's at 280. Still in 4th place. Brendan Rogers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Brendan Rogers is now at 89 points in that regard. So those are the standings. Hi, Sean, by the way. You just noticed I was streaming. Okay. Sorry, I was updating the global standings and the NASCAR standings because Orman and I forgot to do that, and that's my bad. We'll get the other standings up ASAP, so yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and get into predictions since I've already... And you're starting to get tired. Okay. Yeah. Oh, if anyone was asking what I was drinking, it's a Pepsi Zero Sugar that I didn't share, and I also had pizza for lunch that I didn't share. So, you probably already know that we already did, some of us have already picked global, so let's go ahead and go over the global picks. For Cody Smart, he took for W Series at the Netherlands. Driver to win, Jamie Chadwick. Driver to stay away from, Savory Cook. Alice Powell, the dark horse. In Formula 3, he took Dennis Hogger as driver to win. Oliver Rasmussen, driver to stay away from, Jack Doohan, the dark horse. Now, if you notice for the F1 picks, we all have agreed the predicts that we made for Belgium carried over to the Netherlands because I don't appreciate the F1 not doing a full race. So we've agreed that instead of 3 points for 1 point for the F1 race at the Dutch GP, it will now be 2 points to make up for Spa. So letting you all know on that. Because I decided not to do the points because it was not fair to us. So the Belgian picks for the Dutch GP, Lewis Hamilton drove to win, Mick Schumacher stay away from Lando Norris, dark horse. For DTM, he took Kelvin Vanderlyn driving to win, not Kelvin Cederlin. Cody! Because I'm going to put him in the Xfinity series. Esme Hockey driver stay away from Alex Hawkins, or Alex Albon, dark horse. I don't know why I said Alex Hawkins, but anyway. So I forgot to start the game. Whoopsie. Oh, good. For Nathan Orman, Alice Powell driver to win for the W Series. Marta Garcia driver stay away from Jamie Chadwick, the dark horse. Jack Doohan for Formula 3 to win. Clement Novalak stay away from, and Dennis Hogger, dark horse. And then Ormy's picked from Belgium that will carry over to the Dutch GP. Valtteri Bottas win. Perez stay away from Fernando Alonso, the dark horse. For DTM, well, I'm doing this because Cody said Xfinity series wrong and said Xfinity, so that's why if you heard me say Xfinity, that's because I'm ripping off Cody's line, which he derped. That was really funny, if you know what I mean. Ormy took Alex Albon driver to win. Nico Mueller driver stay away from. Kelvin Vanderlyn, the dark horse. For myself, you basically know my Belgian pick. Sergio Perez to win. Russell stay away from Stroll, dark horse. For W Series for me, I took Emma Kimmelainen driver to win. Jessica Hawkins driver stay away from. Marta Garcia, the dark horse. Victor Martins is my driver to win for Formula 3. Frederick Vesti driver stay away from. Clement Novalak, the dark horse. For DTM, I took Nico Mueller as driver to win. Driver stay away from Alex Albon, and dark horse Marco Whitman. Now it's time for you all. Oh, he already knows it because we always like to do that to him every single time. Like, if you know what I mean. Now, Darlington. You all don't know who I picked for Darlington, so that's why I'm doing this. You guys will hear my predictions, and then everybody else I'll read their predictions tomorrow. So, to recap, Formula 3, W Series 1 point each. F1 is 2 points each because of the screw-up in Belgium. DTM is also 1 point each, so that just letting you all know. For NASCAR, as before I get to my picks and before I forget, 3 points for a playoff driver for the Truck Series and for the Cup Series. 1 point for a non-playoff driver and 1 point each for Xfinity because we're not into the playoffs for them. Which we will be in 2 races after these 3 races in the regular season. So, just letting you all know. Okay, let me see. Since nobody made predictions, I'll take the first swing at it. Okay, for the Truck Series, for their second race of the first round, driver to win. To me, when you talk about Darlington, the track too tough to tame, you talk about what we saw in the spring race. I feel like this is a driver who did not start off the playoffs good, even though he had that nice little cushion. It's where I could say he's going to definitely need a bounce-back performance. So I'm going to say John Hunter Nemechek as driver to win. So, no guarantee. Driver to stay away from. The history of Darlington tells me why I could be a bit iffy about this pick. this is a pick that I really did not want to have to choose, but it's a prediction that I'm going to have to go with by the fame of heart. Oh, by the way, Sean, I sent you the predictions in the President's Chat if you haven't gotten them. For a driver to stay away from, this one's tough because, you got a really fun field. I feel like this driver, his luck's going to run out, and I just don't know if he's going to overcome what happened at Gateway. That's what I was trying to think of. I don't know if he's going to bounce back from what happened at Gateway to redeem himself and get the victory, and I just don't know if he's going to have the chance. Because Darlington has not been very kind to him so far. It was not kind to him in the spring race, because if I pull up the results from the spring race, if I can find it, oh, here it is. I'm going to go off my bet and say this driver is going to be the driver I'm going to take to stay away from. As much as I don't like it, it has to be the way I'm going to go with. I'm going to say, and I wonder if he is too easy. I want to make sure he's not too easy. I'm going to say Stuart Friesen as the driver to stay away from. Dark horse. I'm going to take the driver who just recently won here in the spring, and I think he's going to do very well in the regards of how he's done so far this season. Let me make sure the 42... Yeah, the 42 is not too easy. Okay. Dark horse, Sheldon Creed. I'll take Sheldon Creed. No. Okay, found. You want smack now or later? For Xfinity. Driver to win in Xfinity. I really see this team really been impressive from what I've seen so far. So for driver to win in Xfinity, I'm going to take a JGR driver, but who is the question? He comes into this race as the defending winner, and I could see him taking the big victory. So I'm going to say, for the second year in a row, Brandon Jones is the driver to win. So he can get locked into the playoffs. The driver I'm going to take to stay away from. Oh boy. Driver stay away from. This is where the fun begins. Okay, looking at, see who's too flippin' easy. As much as I think he's going, as much as this is his first time, I really just think he's going to struggle. Driver stay away from Sam Mayer. I don't know how he's going to do at Darlington. I'm kind of, rookies never do well at Darlington, and I just feel like, Sam Mayer's going to fit the bill. Dark horse. Austin Cindric will bounce back this weekend, so he is the dark horse. Now to Cup for the opener of the playoffs. The driver to win the Cookout Southern 500. This is the tough one. This is tough. When you talk about this driver and how much success he's done, I could say it's either a good thing or it could be a bad thing. Based off what I saw at Daytona, I'm thinking it's going to be a driver who I really think should win this race. I'm going to say the driver to win the Southern 500, I'm going to say the number 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Driver stay away from. We were just talking about this in a messenger chat before I came on the air. And someone gave me a very good pick I'm going to take and not accept it if anybody tries anything or my teams and drivers are on Triple P. But I just don't think this driver is going to have a success in the race here at Darlington. I'm going to say he's going to end up having a disappointing race. I'm going to say Ryan Blaney as the driver to stay away from. Dark horse. For me, when you talk about a race, I mean, Daytona was not very kind to some people, but I think it's going to be a bounce-back performance. I'm going to say Kyle Larson as the dark horse. So, that is my predictions for me, and I'll get everybody else's predictions in just a second. So, yeah. So, yeah. Alright, so that is my predictions done. Let's take a look at this week's upcoming events brought to you by Kim K Coach Lines. Coming up tomorrow, coming up on Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be going over the Overwatch. It'll be the Overwatch League podcast, as I am going to discuss about how everything has been and all that good stuff. I believe we're already into the playoffs, if I'm correct. Let me see. Yeah. So we are. So I'm going to preview the final week and see who will make it into the playoffs as we're on the as we're about to start the playoffs and the grand finale. See who I think is going to make it in and all that, because we have a lot of good stuff to talk about and all that. So we'll see what happens, if you know what I mean, as far as the playoffs are concerned. So looking forward to that discussion on Wednesday night, and hopefully you'll join me at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So far, also the F1 2021 for the USA GP will be coming out tomorrow while I'm at work, so hope you guys look forward to that. That's a look at this week's upcoming events brought to you by Kim K Coach Lines, the official motor coach carrier of the PCSRA. For more information and details, visit kimkcoach.com. As far as looking at this week's upcoming PCSRA Awesome events, next week we are going to recap the Dutch GP. Hopefully there's no dramas in that race. Darlington, Austria for DTM. We'll take you through the awesome news and notes and all that good stuff. And then we will look ahead to the final, to the penultimate race for Xfinity at Richmond. It will also be the second race of the first round for the Cup Series. And also, we will be looking ahead to the Temple of Speed, the amazing track ever. Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Let me confirm that. We have, Italian GP, Monza, Formula 2's back from their break. Also, the IMSA podcast will be next week as well. Also, we got IndyCar from Portland, so looking forward to that. Also, we got Richmond. So, as I said, Xfinity regular next to last race, the final race for the Cup drivers to race in the Xfinity Series before the regular season finale. It'll be also the second race of the first round for the Cup Series. And then the following week is that, if my stupid thing can load. Load! Okay, fine. Oh, would you like to load, please, and thank you on motorsports.com, you derping hyena? I said load. Thank you very much. The following week is we have DTM from Assen, which will be exciting. Laguna Seca for IndyCar Series. It will be the regular season finale for the Xfinity Series drivers. It will be the first elimination race for trucks and the Cup Series to determine who is moving on to the next round and who will be the 6 drivers, 2 in trucks and 4 in Cup, that will be eliminated. So that'll be something we're definitely looking forward to, if you know what I mean. So that's a look at this week's upcoming awesome events brought to you by Subway Eat Fresh, proud sponsor of Chloe Baumgartner and the number 84 Audi RS8. As we close the broadcast, we send our condolences not only to Robin Miller and his family and friends, but we also want to send our condolences to everybody in the city of New Orleans. Hashtag Louisiana Strong. As over 1 million customers are, as of right now, without power. We're all thinking about the people in Louisiana, and as a result, the Tulane OU game will be in Norman instead of New Orleans. So that's a shame. We will not be playing at Tulane, but we will schedule that down the line. So prayers to everybody in the city of New Orleans, and we're thinking about you, and we are going to do the best we can to help you all out, if you know what I mean. So prayers out to everybody in New Orleans. So yeah, that's kind of it, if you know what I mean. So special thanks to my amazing crew as always: Zachary Taylor, Cody Smart, Nathan Orman, Kyle Langland, Great Lakes, also our new panelist Sean Art, our statistician Caleb Hobbs, producer and engineer Zachary Fitzwater, Jackie Tang, Alex Hawkins, Dennis Kelly, Greg Rutz, and all of our amazing people. That is a derp for Cody. So anyway, and all that good stuff. Daniel Anderson running the show for us back in our PCSRA Network studios. Real quickly, I just got picks from Cody Smart. And Cody stole my driver to win, and I'm going to smack him for that. For Cody Smart for driver to win, real quickly, and Nathan Orman. Driver to win, John Hunter Nemechek, stealing my picks again. Driver stay away from Stuart Friesen, Zane Smith, dark horse. For Xfinity, he took Denny Hamlin as driver to win. David Starr, driver stay away from Justin Allgaier, dark horse. For Cup, he took Martin Truex Jr. as driver to win. Stealing my picks again. Tyler Reddick, driver stay away from Chase Elliott, the dark horse. For Nathan Orman, he took Sheldon Creed, driver to win. Austin Hill is the driver to stay away from. John Hunter Nemechek, the dark horse. In Xfinity, he took Austin Cindric, driver to win. Driver stay away from Jeff Burton, Brandon Jones as the dark horse. For Cup, he took Kyle Larson, driver to win. Driver stay away from Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. as the dark horse. But anyway. So, yeah. The Oklahoma Highway Safety Office. Oh, gosh. Yeah. But anyway, the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office is the proud sponsor of Triple P and wants to remind all of our friends that drinking and driving is deadly and illegal. Together we can end DUI Visit endyok.com for more details. Final score one final time from preseason in Houston, Texas. It was my Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23, Greg Rutz, and the Houston Texans 16. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Overwatch League podcast, which I will record that late. Or I will probably record it tomorrow night. It will be going up on Wednesday. To give you my thoughts and all that good stuff. But until then, and until next week on Triple P, this is Danny Volo saying, Sieg the day, R.I.P. Robert Miller, and Boomer Sooner, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday. But for now, it's goodbye, and see you next time.
On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, PCSRA Paddock Pass has been brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic Drive-Ins, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where we encourage all of you fans that together we can end DUI. Thanks for joining us for the PCSRA Paddock Pass Show. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation on the PCSRA Sports Network. Copyright 2021 by the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues and the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association, Incorporated.